Hi guys, today I'm going to show you all the details about the Runmefit Watch 4. It's a summer 2025 model with a super large 1.95 inches AMOLED always on display. Comes with more than 100 type of sports tracking, and they claim even an ultra precise activity tracking. Definitely interested to see that. Of course, we have normal fitness and health tracking as well. Normal notification, we have built-in microphone and speaker for phone calls, and we have a very long battery life of up to 15 days with normal usage, and of course much more. So let's see what's in the box and how it works. Okay, so here we go. Has a sticker saying charge to activate. That's usually how it works. Watch band is already attached. It's a normal, I would say, traditional watch band. Rather soft, not too soft, not too hard, feels pretty comfortable, has a very modern style, hope you can see that, and that's how it looks in the back. Of course, also have to remove the sticker for accurate reading. Makes a good impression. What I also like is the rotatable crown. We can easily operate it with one finger here. That's a huge advantage compared to the other Runmefit watch, the GTX 2, which looked a little bit more men's military style, but the crown was something which was rather difficult to be used, not so smooth, not so fluent. Here it's really nice and smooth, exactly how it should be. Then we have some more accessories here inside, of course, instructions, manual, and of course, like always, a magnetic USB to proprietary magnetic charger. But what's awesome here is, I think that's the first watch where I see USB-C instead of USB-A. Looks like the official model type is GTS 10. Yeah, USB-C, huge advantage compared to most other smartwatches which are still delivered with USB-A. And so I connect it here in the back. Yeah, if it's not charging for the first time right away, just take it away, put it back like here, and now it shows already the charge. 95%. Yeah, it came with 95% charge. That's pretty amazing. And now, of course, we need to download the free Runmefit app, either from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. And so I've downloaded the app. So let's double click here. If you haven't already an account for this app, then of course you need to open a new one. It's free, no problem, but it helps to save all your data. I've been using this app already from the previous GTX 2 watch. And so we click on devices. Of course, I have to blur all the detailed serial number or MAC number. That's still the old GTX 2, so I can remove this one. Click on add new device. Of course, we have to give a lot of permission so that the watch is running smooth. So I start with the Bluetooth, precise location, connect to nearby devices, and later on even more is required. I'm not going to show everything here. And now it's searching for this watch, and it has already found it down here, super easy. By the way, on the front of the watch it will ask for the language, I think, but after that it's ready. If you swipe to the right side, there's a lot of information about the connectivity, QR code for the app and so on. So I click here on connect, says pairing, pairing successful, Bluetooth pairing request, pair, allow, more pair, allow phone calls. Also very important, stop optimizing battery usage. There's also an update available. Always highly recommended to do firmware updates at the beginning. Download is even pretty fast. So that proves that we have a fast smartwatch here. And during the update you will see a similar notification on your watch. Update successful. So we can go back. So now we have to pair it again. A little bit surprised. Never seen that before, but of course we do that. So very important to know if you have troubles connecting the watch, especially after doing the firmware upgrade. Read the whole pairing troubleshooting. There's very important information, especially down here, where it will tell you to go to the Bluetooth setting and then click on forget this device. And so here we have this watch. So we click on settings and click on unpair. And now we can go back and click on connect again. And now it says pairing successful. Of course, keep giving all the authorizations, everything it asks for, especially also in the device settings. When it says audio Bluetooth disconnected, click on that and enable Bluetooth calling. And so I've been wearing this watch for almost 2 weeks, which is a very long time. And it has been very comfortable, definitely no problem regarding wearing comfort, and also regarding the display. Display is absolutely awesome. I mean, first the display quality, how bright, how nicely to read it is, but also how nice and easy it is to swipe left, right, up, down, and how easy it is to use the crown here to move everything up and down, or at least pretty much everything. It doesn't work for everything, like not for the tiles here as you can see, but I would say for most of the things. On top we have a lot of functions directly, something which I really like. Super comprehensive, even more than one full screen with information about Bluetooth, flashlight, settings, do not disturb, phone find, alarm, always on display. But the always on display has been a little bit a disappointment because it works just for about 10-15 minutes or so. I mean, we can activate that and it will always display what we see here, but only for 10 or 15 minutes. After that you have to reactivate that. That's a little bit a disadvantage compared to, for example, the GTX 2, which really has an always on display. Of course, we never have such a display as an always on display. It will always switch back to a passive display, which is a little bit more simple, but at least we can see the time and some basic information. So let's continue here. One of the highlights, definitely the sleep mode. I'm not going to show all the functions here, but the highlights and the disappointments. So one of the highlights here, definitely the sleep mode. So you remember that's the main screen. And so when you go to bed, you can also use the scheduled do not disturb, but as an alternate solution, or on top of that, we can use the sleep mode. What do you think when I press here? Absolutely awesome. Unfortunately, we have to confirm this every time, but then it will dim the screen. It will disable notifications. It will go back to this very simple screen. So while on other smartwatches, you have to click 2, 3, or even 4 different icons to achieve something like that. Here we have it with one click. By the way, it shows also the next alarm here. That's something which I've never seen with another watch. So that could be also a big reason why to buy this watch. That's a unique thing. I have never seen that. I think that's not even possible with an Android Wear watch or an Apple Watch to achieve. Could be wrong, but I've never seen that and I've never been able to do something like that. So in the morning you just go up, deactivate it, and you have everything back. On the right side we have the tiles. Standard tiles, not much information, also sleep, but we have more information on the watch. And then we have these apps. They called these apps here in the app, but they were not really apps. You can click on that. There's no deep analysis or so, just normal measuring and showing a little bit more information. That's for the heart rate. That's also for the stress monitoring and also for the blood oxygen. So just basic tiles here, and on the left side, I had to swipe a little bit up because it's showing my location. But here we have the weather information. You can click, you get even more details. I think it's a 1 week weather forecast with sunrise and sunset, which is really nice. Even you can even go ahead and see the change for the next days. That's pretty cool. Also moonrise, moonset, also rather unique function. Then the built-in player calendar. I haven't synced it, but I think you can click here on details, mood or stress monitoring, and here the detailed sleep analysis, night sleep details, all the information. You can even activate a sleep plan. I haven't used that. You can even use or set up a sleep plan and let the watch wake you up. I've been using the standard wake up procedure and not this advanced setting, and it has been working really good. Also super important to have a reliable wake up. And what I like, what we see here in the sound and vibration, we have really a lot of modes: silent, vibration,
and vibration settings in, I think, 1, 2, 3 different strengths. We can also activate crown haptics if you like. And the vibration is really strong already on some medium setting, but definitely super strong on the highest setting. So if you're a deep sleeper, you don't have to be worried. It will definitely wake you up. And also some positive things regarding the watch face. I mean, we cannot do anything here. There's no interaction, but there's a lot of information here, and not only digital information like the steps, battery charge level, heart rate, and so on, but it also updates the graphics here, like these circles where it shows how many calories, how many steps, how far I've been moving today. That's something which you don't see a lot usually with such watch faces. Then when we push here down, it will list the different workouts which are available. You can even add some, you can customize the whole list. We have even an automatic detection. Worked sometimes, but sometimes it was a little bit overdoing. So when I was working in the backyard, it was saying that it has identified that I started doing some sports. I haven't done a lot, but I've been using it for swimming because I wanted to see if it protects nicely the screen, and it definitely does it. It gives even some instructions here. So that's what you are going to see. Of course, you can't do anything. Also with the crown, not more information as far as I can see. So that's it. But at least you can see the time. That's something which is not present in a lot of smartwatches. Of course, we can't go back. That's not possible. Also not with other fitness trackings. And here with the swim mode, it will just tell that the screen is locked. So it doesn't do any crazy stuff when it's underwater. That's really good. So we have to stop it here like that, long pressing, then it's unlocked, and then we can finish that. By the way, we have also another lock here directly on the status menu. So you can see when you want to use that in the water, like having the main screen while just being in the water, not doing any swim recording, then you can use this one here. You also have to unlock it with a long press. Then the sport records we can find here. I've been doing 2 times swimming. We see more details in the app, of course, but it has recorded, I think, nicely. As long as we keep the watch pretty tight to the wrist, it records really nicely even during swimming. Definitely better than other watches, that's good. But it has been just recording the heart rate and not lap tracking or something like that. Really just the time and the heart rate. I mean, of course, with other sports, it will track more. This is just regarding the swimming. Then we have really a lot. Would take too much time to show everything. You can see that here really a lot of functions. We also have the phone here. Microphone test, Runmefit WATCH 4. And it has been working really good. One of the best microphones and speakers I've ever seen in a smartwatch. Yeah, it was pretty much the same thing as using a smartphone. Speaker can be super loud. That's one of the positive things. I mean, we do not have a water clearing function here for the microphone and speaker. They are here on the side. I haven't found any water clearing function, but I've been swimming, and after that I've been using the phone and it still worked really good. It was no problem. Down here, more apps. Very important for me, the timer. We have some presets with minutes and even some presets with hours. That's something which I really like. And of course we have the manual settings possibility. We can even use the crown, but because we can use the crown here, I mean, that's a nice thing here. But on the other hand, we cannot use the crown here to go back to the main screen. That's something which you have to know. And also small disadvantage here, we cannot go back to the main screen. We do not have multitasking. So if you want to use a timer for 3 hours like here, you will always have this screen here. I mean, we have normal time, but you cannot go back to the main screen. That's not possible. It will just start and stop this thing again. What's awesome here, after the timer is finished, we can click here and it will start again from scratch. For example, when you do some grilling, 2 or 3 minutes each side, When the time is over, you just press here and it will restart again. That's also something I've never seen before, very helpful. But again, we have to leave manually like that. Stopwatch, similar thing. Again, no multitasking. Would have been really nice to have some multitasking here. Calculator, really nice. Find phone, flashlight, settings. There we have quite some settings here. Even the scheduled do not disturb. But the big problem I had, I didn't get any notification because the app went always into sleep on my Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Probably it's a problem with this phone or my setting. I know it works with other people. For me, it never worked, or at least not longer than 1 hour, and then my phone has put the app into sleep again. No matter what setting, what battery setting or what task manager setting I've been using, I don't know what I could do to resolve this. This is something you have to know, but doesn't have to be the same thing for you. Maybe it's really just me did something wrong during setup, I don't know. The weird thing is also that I've been using the same app with the GTX 2 from the same brand, and there it has been working. Here it didn't work. By the way, you don't have to be worried regarding the phone calls. With the phone calls, it's not using the app, of course, it's using direct Bluetooth connection. So that has always been working super reliable, even after being disconnected, for example, for some time when I went into the backyard. Coming back, it did reconnect easily. Also brightness adjustment, one of the highlights here. We can also use the crown for that. Maybe it's a little bit sensitive. By the way, when you see flickering here, that's only in the camera. That's not visible with your eyes. So you can make it super bright or also very, very dim. One of the largest ranges I've ever seen, so that works perfectly for the night, but also when you need maximum brightness outside, so it's easily visible even outside in direct sunlight. Another huge highlight, the wrist gesture. So whenever you want to see the time, you move your wrist like that, and when you have seen it, you turn it back and it will turn off. That works usually super fast, very accurate, but something which is missing here on the left side, that's the recent apps. I think there's no page where you can find the recently used apps, unfortunately. Also small problem when trying to connect to the app. Even when it was showing connected in the app, the watch was not reacting, was still showing the initial setup screen. So I had to click on skip connecting, something like that, and it started the screen and showed that it was connected. Battery consumption with 10 seconds. Display time, and I would say average display brightness with just maybe one fitness tracking per week was about 1 week of battery runtime, which is definitely a positive thing. If you want to reach more, of course, then you will have to deactivate wrist gesture because you cannot reduce it to less than 10 seconds, and even reducing the brightness to minimal actually didn't do much regarding battery runtime, so you can leave it even somewhere at 50% to have good readability inside and outside, because you have to know there's no sensor here built in, there's no automatic adjustment, something which some premium smartwatches have, and we also do not have any shortcut to increase the brightness to maximum or so, which I've seen from some other smartwatches. So it's better to have it maybe on the medium, so when you step outside you can still see it nicely. And so of course you also want to see the results in the Runmefit app. And so you can see also what happened here. Again, it put it into the background, into sleep, and because of that there are no notifications here in my case. Of course, the most important thing after using is the home. So here we have pretty much everything about health and fitness. Here we have a quick overview of the steps of the day and the week and the month. Same thing, of course, for the distance, and same thing for the calories. Really nice overview. I mean, we can also go down also here in the distance and in the steps here to see more information than heart rate. Very similar thing.
Also with some details down here, daily statistics and a weekly overview and a monthly overview. And of course in the daily we can also go back here because it's a little bit early in the morning. So we can, for example, go back to the yesterday and we can see it's pretty detailed. I think the steps are 5 minutes. I think we can't change that, at least I haven't seen that. So heart rate every 5 minutes as far as I can see. Again, weekly, monthly overview as well. Sleep tracking. So let's check for yesterday. Quite some analysis, quite a lot of details here. Weekly, monthly. Sports records. The 2 things I've done. The 2 times swimming. Of course here much more detailed heart rate measurement. Not only every 5 minutes, but pretty much real time, the whole time. With the maximum, minimum. Mood tracking, stress monitoring through the day, 1 indicator per each hour. Down here, stress analysis, and also of course weekly, monthly. Here definitely with a small bug. Other than that, I haven't seen many bugs here. We also have the mood tracking, for example for yesterday. Also here weekly, monthly. Blood oxygen. That was yesterday, so we can see 1 measurement every 30 minutes as far as I can see. Also with daily statistics and also with some weekly and monthly overview. And on top here we have the MAI vitality score, even with a trend. And when we click on it, we can get some deeper analysis. Trend down here. MAI weekly report, for example for last week, with a lot of details. When we go down, we see the different days and how we have reached the goal. Exercises, I've done nothing. Activity count, sleep analysis, sleep time, deep sleep percentage, average heart rate, blood oxygen, average stress level. Really nice overview, I would say. Then we have the Me tab with personal information, system settings. You can also share data with Google Fit. Check the permissions if something is not working. So everything should be on. But still I would say one of the most interesting new releases of smartwatches in 2025 for sure, with some super innovative functions and really useful functions. But you also have to be aware of the limitations regarding limited always on display duration. There may be a rather tricky setup or connection process at the beginning, and the problem which I had with the connectivity to the Runmefit app on my smartphone, but it could be just me. Doesn't mean that you will have same problem as well. And so if you're interested, I'll put down the link to the listing down into the description so you can check it out and order one for you if you like. And I hope I've been able to help you a little bit with this video. If you have any questions or comments or want to share your own experience with this watch, then just let us know down in the feedback area. I'm always happy to talk about these things. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.